Senator, welcome to you again. But one thing I can update our viewers on is that it looks like the bridge to nowhere from New York to Canada, that Chuck Schumer put in, is eliminated by the Parliamentarian, as well as the transit system for San Francisco's own Nancy Pelosi. So those two things are out.
Yeah, but the broader bill is it's a fraud. So look, this is a trick. It's called a Washington special, right? You put out a bill, you call it COVID relief, and people that are on their way to work, what they hear on the news is $1.9 trillion COVID relief, and people are like, okay, that's good because we need relief, and $1.9 trillion is a lot of money, and so forth. The problem is that's not what the bill is. That's what the packaging is, but on the inside, it's all kinds of other things. You know, ultimately, it aims to get money into the hands of Planned Parenthood. What does Planned Parenthood have to do with COVID? And by the way, they raise millions of dollars from celebrities and everybody all over the world. This is not just about helping local governments that have been hit by the pandemic. It's about bailing out some of these states. You know, the predator governor of New York, the disastrous governor in California, other places that were irresponsible even before the pandemic. And so I'm prepared to vote for more COVID relief. I think we need it. There's all kinds of things that I'm for, the individual payments that President Trump was asking for at the end of his presidency and other things like that. But this is not it. And I'm not going to get punked, and we shouldn't get pressured into voting for something that isn't what it says it is and that people are going to regret once this thing passes and they see what's in it.
Kyrsten Sinema, Senator Joe Manchin, maybe Hickenlooper, or anybody budging, if they lose one vote, this goes down the toilet. Have you heard any Democratic movement?
Well, I mean, we'll hear more about it today. I think, obviously, you know, when it comes to Joe and Kyrsten, they've talked about the minimum wage increase and some of the other things. I also don't think that they're in favor of doing what, you know, these House members and these ultra-liberals are all pushing for, which is to run over the parliamentarian. You know, it makes me laugh. You know, if we did that, when Trump was president, we were in the majority, they would say we were authoritarians and we were violating the rule of law. But now they're openly asking that the rules of the Senate be violated. Listen, there's so much hypocrisy that it's impossible to keep up with it. We could spend all day pointing it out, but we got to be busy as well, you know, fighting against these terrible things.
Senator, you pointed out at the border, you're really concerned about what's happening there. They say it's not a crisis, it's a challenge. What does Senator Marco Rubio say, and why were you telling me look out for Honduras?
Well, it's a challenge, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, this is all about messaging and imagery, right? And so when you have somebody run for president that basically sends out the impression that, yes, we're going to welcome people even if they come here illegally, that stuff spreads. And then these folks don't get here on their own. They are traffickers that go out and recruit people and say, hey, I can get you into America for $5,000, $3,000 if you bring a kid with you, or if you send your kid with somebody else. So you've now created an incentive for children to be sent towards the border as a passport to get into the country. And that's what's happening. And in Honduras in particular, you're seeing a lot of activity from these trafficking networks. And, you know, the government there doesn't have the ability to stop it, but even if they did, they don't have the incentive. You know, 25% of Honduras' economy, of its GDP, is remittances from the United States. So they have a built-in incentive to see people come here and send money back. This is going to get really bad really fast, and it's about much more than just places where people are being detained. It's about a rush on the border that I think creates all kinds of and a humanitarian crisis. I mean, we don't know how many kids die on the way here, how many are sexually abused, how many are killed. We have no idea the horrible things that happen on that journey here.